Folks, it is Overreaction Sunday. Before we dive into everything we learned and what we know about yesterday's win over Iowa, I want to ask you guys to subscribe to the channel. There's a reason we are the most watched, listened to, talked about Michigan football show in the entire world. Local radio stations in WTKA in Ann Arbor, 3,000 to 4,000 listeners per day. Detroit radio station, 6,000 to 10,000 listeners in their drive time shows. Our show, way higher than that. Get on board if you haven't yet. YouTube.com/Michigan TV. The people have spoken. Be part of the winning team. It is Overreaction Sunday. We've got some major overreaction from social media, the internet, from you guys coming up right now. The Michigan Football Report is presented by Manscaped. Folks, it is fresh ball fall. You want to take care of business downtown, so you can take care of business in the bedroom. I've been using Manscaped for my shampoo, my conditioner, trimming up down below. Heck, I even have the Manscaped chapstick. We're going to talk about them a little bit later in today's show. But before we do, I've got three balls, all right? I got three game balls. That is one, two, and let me get this one on screen. Three of them here. I'm going to toss one. First game ball coming up to Blake Corum. He has got my first game ball. Jack is supposed to go to that one as I threw the ball. That's okay. I wasn't actually going to throw it at the camera. You guys understood. Blake Corum, 133 yards on 29 carries. Got the touchdown. That, it wasn't necessarily the end-all, be-all of the game, but in some ways it could have been the difference maker in this one. Next up on this list, we're going to give another game ball out to Michigan tight end Luke Schoonmaker, giving him a game ball, 4 catches, 45 yards, filling in very, very well for Erick All, who we told you about a week and a half ago, folks, is very unlikely to see the field the rest of this season for this team. And lastly, you got Mike Morris there. 3 tackles from Mike Morris. He gets my third game ball. Most importantly for Morris, though, 2 sacks for him on the day. So those are Yoder's 3 game balls here on Overreaction Sunday from the Michigan Football Report. 27-14 victory. Michigan went into the fourth quarter having a shutout brewing against Iowa, but the Hawkeyes were right on the cusp at the 1 yard line or so at the end of the third. They punched in, got a touchdown later on in the game to make it a 13-point victory for Michigan. We'll talk about the overreactions. I've scoured the internet. I asked you guys on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, give me your overreactions, your instant reactions, all that stuff. So everything you're going to see coming up is kind of a conglomeration of everyone's thoughts. I put together the most popular 5 takeaways. So let me know, though, what is your biggest overreaction from yesterday's game? You've had, about 21, 22 hours or so to stew on it. Let me know down in the comment. This will be the pinned comment on today's video. If you get hit with a YouTube ad break, it's easy enough. Just scroll down, give me an overreaction, reply to the pinned comment, scroll right back up. Ad break should be done. All right, number 1, Michigan must let J.J. McCarthy cook. They felt like they were protecting him, like they didn't trust him on Saturday. He's completing a very high percentage of the passes, but a Michigan football offense with J.J. McCarthy and Blake Corum, I don't know, should never have 327 total yards of offense in any game. I think that they're a little bit better than that. 155 yards passing, 172 rushing. Look, 4 of 11 on third down efficiency, folks. I didn't think the offense ever looked totally comfortable outside of that really, really good first drive of the game. Take a look at J.J. McCarthy's stats in the season so far. After 4 starts, 66 of 84 completion on the year. So he is throwing at a 78.6% clip. 78% of his passes have been completed. If he keeps that up, folks, that's an NCAA record. I don't think he will, but that's certainly good to see through 4 starts. 848 yards, 6 touchdowns. The nicest thing about J.J. McCarthy so far is although there's been a couple instances where it could have happened, he has yet to throw an interception this year. He has been playing clean football from that regard. And you know who else has been playing things clean? That is your host, James Yoder, and you can too with Manscaped. Everything has been playing clean below the belt. I've been using Manscaped's chapstick. I've been using the Lawnmower 4.0. You can as well. Get 20% off and free shipping. Go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code GOBLUE, no spaces, the promo code GOBLUE. You can save up to 52% with the Platinum Package. I absolutely love the Platinum Package. You have the shampoo, the conditioner, the ball toner. You've got a little bit of lotion. You've got the lawnmower 4.0 to trim up downstairs, and the ear trimmer so you can get any of those ear hairs that kind of start creeping up once you get up there into your 30s or so. Plus the amazing Manscaped travel bag you see at the bottom of the screen, I guess right to my right here. 20% off, free shipping. I use Manscaped, one of their products, every single day. I've been using their shampoo and conditioner for about 3-4 months. Absolutely love them. Get going with Manscaped. Link is down in the comments and the description. Michigan Football Report. Go Blue is the promo code, GOBLUE, no spaces, at manscaped.com. 20% off and free shipping. The defensive line, Eyabi Oki, formerly Eyabi Onoma, and Mason Graham, two newcomers to this team. Oki has only been with the program for a month and a half. He joined early to mid-August. And then Mason Graham, true freshman. They are playing good. I have watched every single snap of every single defensive line player on this team throughout the year. I think they're two of the best four I've seen so far, in limited action at least. I think this should be your starting defensive line going forward until proven otherwise. I've seen enough out of Mike Morris. He had a really good game against Iowa. Mozzie Smith had a couple of back-to-back good games. He's disrupting up the middle. But Mason Graham's playing a heck of a game, right? He is shedding guys. He is ripping defenders or offensive linemen off him as they try to block him in running and passing. And then Eyabi Oki hasn't got a ton of snaps, but every time he comes in, he seems to be a game changer. He reminds me a lot of David Ojabo from last season. So I would love to see Michigan give that lineup, even though it's not the most experienced lineup. From what I've seen, I believe it to be the most talented lineup that Michigan has so far this season. I don't know, Mason Graham and some other guys, I haven't really seen it from them. I'm sorry, not Mason Graham. Jalen Harrell, Chris Jenkins is who I meant to say there, not Mason Graham. Not really making any game-changing plays. I love to see the guys who I feel are making game-changing plays at a higher rate of frequency, and that was the four guys you saw right there on the screen. But I'll ask you guys this question. Should Eyabi Oki, the 2018 top 5 player overall recruit, 5-star, 3 schools, a lot of academic and other issues, but he seems to at least come to Michigan and has things going in the right direction. Should he be starting? Let me know down in the comments of today's video. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. You saw mine right there. I'm giving it a Y. Let me know down in today's comments. Blake Corum was probably being used a little too much. I don't know why Michigan didn't use Donovan Edwards more in the running game. Only 6 carries for Edwards, 29 for Corum, right after having 30 last week. That's way too high of a frequency. But you heard Joel Klatt on the broadcast in the beginning of the third quarter. He's quietly making a case for the Heisman Trophy after 5 games, folks. If Michigan were to get a 13th game, Big Ten championship game, I mean, he's trending up there to have 1,500 yards. And, 16, 18, 20 potentially touchdowns. Hasn't even really got involved lately in the passing game, averaging 6.6 yards per carry. If Blake Corum keeps this up, 1 or 2 more games where he gets another 100 yards or potentially a 2-3 touchdown game, even if not for 100 yards like he did a couple weeks ago where he only had 12 carries but 5 touchdowns against UConn, you might be seeing Blake Corum in New York for the Heisman Trophy presentation, or hell, maybe even winning it. The first running back, or primarily running back, for Michigan ever to win it could be Blake Corum this season. Michigan starting right tackle Trente Jones, after having a decent week last game, struggled again. I haven't watched every single snap from him yesterday, but there were 2 or 3 very glaring plays. One being where J.J. McCarthy fumbled, which made me lose my mind, 21-yard loss, where Jones at the right tackle stands up, kind of looks at the guy coming from right here, completely ignores him, and then just blocks the guy in front of him who really was not the guy he should have blocked, right? His right guard could have taken him. They could have shifted over like that. And this defensive end ran completely unblocked, took McCarthy out as JJ went to throw the ball. Ball came out, 21-yard loss. I lost my mind on that one because of McCarthy fumbling, but what can you say, right? Peyton Manning probably would have recognized it a little faster, dumped it off, thrown it away. But J.J. McCarthy making his first road start. You need more from Trente Jones. He's becoming a liability. He got Cade McNamara hurt by whiffing on a block, and he look completely lost on that sack of J.J. McCarthy. So I believe that maybe Michigan should give a little bit of maybe some health. People come back healthy. Giovanni El-Hadi played last week. Michigan has got 5 or 6 competent offensive linemen outside of Jones, so maybe they switch things up just a little bit going into these next few weeks. As I mentioned at the top of the show, folks, we are the most watched Michigan football program whether TV, radio, podcast, YouTube, anywhere. This is the most watched show in the month of September, anywhere in the world for Michigan football. So make sure you subscribe. It's youtube.com/Michigan TV. We saw a lot of improvement, right? I heard from a lot of you guys. Remember, these are your overreactions, a lot of these, and I give you my take on them. And I saw a lot of people say, hey, a win's a win. Did what we had to do. Went on the road. Saw some improvement. I agree with this take. You did see a lot of improvement. J.J. McCarthy at least looked calm. Now, there was one play early on in the game where he went deep to Roman Wilson, right? Overthrew him. I think it was in the second quarter. I'll have to look back at that, where it's just like right over his hands. If you saw that play, though, Ronnie Bell was on the left sideline, completely unguarded. McCarthy, if he wouldn't have just been zeroed in down the field, he could have saw Ronnie Bell over here, hit him 20, 25 yards down. Bell would have went in 15, 20 yards for the touchdown. So he looked calm. He was making more decisive reads, but he's still checking down a lot. And the one or two times he did go deep, there was another guy open that may have been a better play option. And he didn't really take off and run at all. Ended up with negative yards because of the sack and the fumble and everything like that. So I did think that J.J. McCarthy, although he looked calm, a little more decisive, still making the wrong decision here and there. But overall, the defensive discipline, I am worried about the offensive line. I'm worried about the defensive line. Defensive line isn't getting really racking up the stats so much. Take a look at the tackling leaders versus Iowa here. You've got Junior Colson leading the way. I wish I could give him a game ball today, but he's been so steady. He's been so good this year. He is, outside of making 2 or 3 sacks or an interception or a fumble recovery, you just expect Junior Colson to have a great game. Mike Barrett starting again with Nakai Hill-Green out. Rod Moore, Mike Sainristil. Those are your defensive backs. So no one on the defensive line is getting any tackles. And against a team like Iowa that throws to the tight ends a lot, but also runs the ball a heck of a lot, that was challenging to see. Mason Graham, I know Jim Harbaugh say he's a base starter, but in most ways hasn't necessarily been a true starter as far as snaps is concerned this year. I do think that I'm concerned if Mason Graham, a backup as far as snaps is concerned, is getting the most tackles from your defensive line. What are the rest of the guys doing throughout this game? The Wolverines will head on the road again, back-to-back weeks, just like they did last year. It was Wisconsin and Nebraska last year. It is Iowa and then Indiana this year. Go ahead and predict the score. I'm going to watch a little Indiana film before I give my score prediction, but I want to hear what you guys' first initial reaction to game week going in 6 days from now, Michigan at Indiana. Go down in the comments, predict the score. We will be back on Monday with your Michigan football grades against Iowa. And then remember, Tuesday, going to announce the Michigan football t-shirt winner for the over 6,300 comments we got from last Wednesday's video. All right, appreciate everybody watching today. Go Blue.